There is something deeply unsettling that happens to many people after the age of 60, and almost no one talks about it openly. You wake up one morning, sit on the edge of your bed, and as you try to stand, your legs don't feel like they used to. They feel weaker, slower, less reliable. At first, you ignore it and tell yourself it's just age. But weeks pass, then months, and slowly you begin to notice something even more concerning. Climbing stairs feels harder, carrying groceries becomes exhausting, and even getting up from a chair requires effort. Somewhere deep inside, a quiet fear begins to grow. What if I lose my independence? Now here's the truth most people don't realize. This is not just getting older. This is muscle loss, silent, progressive, and if left unchecked, it can take away your strength, your mobility, and your confidence. But what if I told you that even at 70, 80, even 90 years old, your body still has the ability to rebuild muscle? Yes, rebuild. Not through extreme workouts, not through complicated routines, and not through expensive treatments, but through something incredibly simple your body has been quietly needing for years. One essential vitamin. A vitamin so powerful that when your body finally gets enough of it, it can begin to switch back on the very processes that keep your muscles strong, stable, and alive. When this happens, something remarkable begins to change inside your body. In fact, many seniors who corrected this one deficiency didn't just feel better. They walked faster, stood stronger, and regained confidence in their own bodies. Some even said they felt like they had turned back the clock, as if their strength was returning little by little. But here's the problem. Most seniors are deficient in this vitamin without even knowing it. There are no loud warning signs, no obvious symptoms, just slow and steady muscle loss happening quietly year after year. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through something very important. You will discover what this essential vitamin is, why it plays such a critical role in muscle health as we age, and how a simple change can begin to restore strength even in your later years. Because once you understand this, you will never look at your health the same way again. And most importantly, you'll realize that weakness is not your destiny. Your body is not failing, it is simply missing something it desperately needs. So stay with me because what I'm about to share could change the way you age forever. Now let's go a little deeper because this is where things become truly eye-opening. The vitamin we're talking about is vitamin D, yes. Something you may have heard about before, but most people completely underestimate how powerful it really is, especially when it comes to muscle strength in older adults. You see, vitamin D is not just a bone vitamin like many people believe. It actually works more like a hormone inside your body. It communicates directly with your muscle cells, helping them grow, repair, and function properly. Without enough of it, your muscles quite literally begin to weaken from the inside out. Think of your muscles like a light bulb and vitamin D like electricity. You can have the bulb, you can have the wiring, but without electricity, nothing works the way it should. This is exactly what happens inside the body when vitamin D levels drop. And here's something that might surprise you. As we age, our ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight decreases significantly. Even if you spend time outdoors, your skin simply doesn't make as much of it as it did when you were younger. That means deficiency becomes more common with every passing year. In fact, studies have shown that a large percentage of seniors have low levels of vitamin D, and many of them don't even know it. They just feel weaker, slower, and more tired, assuming it's a normal part of aging. But it doesn't stop there. Low vitamin D doesn't just affect strength, it also affects balance. This is why seniors with deficiency are more likely to experience falls. And as you know, one fall can change everything. Let me share a simple example. Imagine two individuals in their 70s. One has healthy vitamin D levels, and the other is deficient. The first person walks with confidence, gets up from a chair with ease, and maintains good balance. The second struggles with stiffness, slower movements, and feels uncertain while walking. The difference is not just age, it's what's happening inside their body. Another important thing to understand is how vitamin D works together with your muscles on a cellular level. It helps activate protein synthesis, which is the very process your body uses to build and maintain muscle tissue. Without proper vitamin D, this process becomes inefficient, almost like trying to build a house without enough workers. Now here's a common myth that needs to be cleared. Many people believe that if they are eating well, they must be getting enough vitamin D. Unfortunately, that's not always true. Very few foods naturally contain sufficient amounts of this vitamin, which is why deficiency is so widespread. And then there are people who think, I go outside sometimes, so I must be fine. But as we mentioned earlier, Aging skin, limited sun exposure, and even clothing can all reduce how much vitamin D your body actually produces. So what ends up happening is this quiet deficiency that slowly chips away at your muscle strength, your balance, and your energy levels without making a loud announcement. But the good news is, once you identify this missing piece, everything starts to make sense. The weakness, the fatigue, the instability, they are not random. They are signals. And more importantly, they are signals you can respond to. Because when your body finally receives what it has been lacking, it has an incredible ability to respond, even in later years. So stay with me because in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to restore your vitamin D levels safely, how to support your muscles daily, and the small habits that can make a big difference in your strength and independence. Now let's talk about what you can actually do, starting today, to help your body rebuild strength in a safe and realistic way. The first and most natural source of vitamin D is sunlight. Your body is designed to produce this vitamin when your skin is exposed to the sun, but here's the key: it has to be done correctly. Early morning sunlight or late afternoon light is gentle and effective. Even 15 to 25 minutes of exposure on your arms and face a few times a week can begin to make a difference. But consistency matters more than intensity, and this is where many people go wrong. At the same time, it's important to understand that sunlight alone may not be enough, especially as we age. This is where diet plays a supportive role. Foods like fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified milk contain vitamin D, but in relatively small amounts. They help, but they usually cannot fully correct a deficiency on their own. Think of them as support, not the main solution. For many seniors, a high-quality vitamin D supplement becomes necessary, but this is where you must be careful. More is not always better. The goal is not to take large amounts blindly, but to restore healthy levels safely. This is why it's always wise to speak with a healthcare provider and, if possible, check your vitamin D levels through a simple blood test. Once you know where you stand, the right dosage becomes much clearer. Now here's something very important that most people overlook. Vitamin D does not work alone. Your body also needs enough protein to rebuild muscle. Without protein, even if your vitamin D levels improve, your muscles won't have the building blocks they need to grow stronger. Simple foods like lentils, eggs, yogurt, chicken, or fish can make a powerful difference when included regularly in your meals. And then comes movement. Not intense exercise, not exhausting routines, just gentle, consistent movement. Even simple activities like standing up from a chair multiple times, slow walking, or light resistance exercises can signal your muscles to stay active. When vitamin D, protein, and movement come together, that's when real change begins. But let me gently point out a few common mistakes. Some people take supplements for a few days and expect immediate results, then stop when they don't feel a difference. Others rely only on sunlight but spend most of their time indoors. And some ignore early signs of weakness until it becomes much harder to recover. Your body responds to patience and consistency. Small daily actions, repeated over time, create the biggest transformation. This is not about quick fixes, it's about rebuilding from within. And here's the most encouraging part. Even if you feel weak today, even if your strength has declined over the years, your body still has the ability to respond. Muscles can adapt. Strength can improve. Balance can return. It may not happen overnight, but it can happen. So in the final part, I want to speak to you on a deeper level. Not just about muscles or vitamins, but about your independence, your confidence, and the life you still have the power to live. I want you to take a quiet moment and think about something very personal. Think about the last time you felt truly strong in your body. When standing up was effortless, when walking felt natural, when you didn't have to think twice before moving. That feeling, that sense of control and independence. It's not just physical, it's deeply emotional. Because strength is not only about muscles. It's about confidence. It's about dignity. It's about knowing that you can rely on your own body. And when that begins to fade, even slightly, it can affect how you see yourself. You may start avoiding certain activities. You may hesitate before walking longer distances. You may even begin to depend on others more than you'd like. But here's something I want you to truly understand. Your story is not over. No matter your age, whether you are 60, 70, 80, or even beyond, your body is still capable of responding, adapting, and improving when given the right support. This is not about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming strength. And sometimes that journey begins with something as simple as correcting a deficiency your body has been silently dealing with for years. Vitamin D may seem small, but its impact can be profound when combined with the right habits, the right nutrition, and the willingness to take that first step. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to become perfect overnight. All you need is a decision, a quiet commitment to start caring for your body in a more intentional way. Step outside for a few minutes of sunlight. Nourish your body with foods that support you. Move a little more each day, even if it's slow, even if it's gentle. Because every small action you take is a message to your body. I'm not done yet, and your body listens. It responds in ways that may surprise you. Strength returns gradually. Balance improves. Confidence begins to rebuild. And one day, you may find yourself doing things that once felt difficult, with a sense of ease again. This is how real change happens. Not through pressure, not through fear, but through understanding and consistency. So if this message resonated with you, take it as a sign. A reminder that your health is still in your hands, and your future is still being written. And if you found value in this, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it today. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever checked your vitamin D levels or noticed changes in your strength over time? Because your story matters. And it's never too late to begin again.